rehabilitation. And then I got this idea, and I told the rabbis before, in 5 years we're going to Israel, we're going to make Aliyah. And, you know, they never believed me. But then I was home, my wife said, why don't you go see if we can live in Israel? Why don't you see if you can find a job in Israel? And I sent resumes to Israel, and then I found this program that takes us around showing you different developments and where you can live and stuff like that. And I announced in the shul of the Kiddush after all the time, I said, I'm going to go to Israel. And everybody said, for what? I said, I'm going to make Aliyah. And the rabbi started, and the people started, are you Meshugana? What's wrong with you? Did you lose your mind? You'll never make it in Israel. You'll never find a job. You'll never be an engineer because construction is the most corrupt. And their age discriminate. And you're 50 years old. You're never going to make it. And the pay is terrible. And you don't speak Hebrew. And you don't speak Arabic. You can't make it over there. And I said, look, if Hashem wants me there, I'm going. And I got on a plane. And I got there. And in 2 days, I was on a bus going to Sfat, and we stopped at Tiberias, and the phone was ringing off out of my pocket, an Israeli phone. I didn't know how to answer it. I answered the phone, and there's a guy yelling at me in Hebrew. Hey, wait for a time, where are you? Where are you? I said, who's this? And some guy. And he said, where are you? I want you in Jerusalem now. I said, I can't come now. I'm away. He said, now, come down here. I said, no, I can't. He said, I'll come tomorrow night. He said, meet me tomorrow night. I said, why? He said, I have a job for you. What? So the next night I went to the hotel room, and the guy gave me a job. And 2 days in Israel, I got a job, 2 days. And he said, you start tomorrow. I said, yeah, not tomorrow. I don't even mind the papers. And I said, Monday, I'll start Sunday. And so where they put me, I worked on a brand new tank base as the lowest line quality control engineer. They wanted an English speaker to be a coordinator between the IDF and the American Army. And so I started this job. Told Sarah Devora, you gave me a bracha, you're making Aliyah from there, I'm making it from here. She packed everything, I met her 12 weeks later, she came. But I got a job in 2 days. 2 days as an engineer. And then from there, I got promoted to another job. The next job I got promoted, I was recommended by the whole IDF, and recommended by the American Corps of Engineers, and I got a job working on an Air Force base. We put the first underground fuel system in. And I got promoted from quality control engineer to quality control manager. I was on the job a month, and the project manager from America couldn't handle the Israelis doing everything backwards and forth, you know. And they said, will you be the project manager? Can you run the job? I said, I can run the job. I showed you all my experience. He said, okay, you're the project manager. So I was the project manager in 2003 on this job. We put 2 1-million-liter tanks in the ground, jet fuel tanks. We put 11 miles of pipe. We put a big pump house and then 6 pump stations all over the project. And we put nozzles for 56 jets and 56 hangars, like you go to a gas station. It was the first system like it and the only one in Israel. And the southern base, one of the biggest bases. And when we finished the project, they put one plane, the commander took me out to the field, we put one plane by the pump, they put the nozzle in, he said now, and they pushed the button, we filled one jet, 3,000 liters in under 3 minutes. And he couldn't believe it. He said, there's something wrong with the system. The pumps didn't go on. You want 3,000 liters, you want all my pumps to go on? They're not going to work. And the little pump is going to fill them up. So he got a little, you know, and he said, okay. He called all his jets in. He called all pilots, everybody. 56 pilots, 56 jets, 56 nozzles, walkie-talkies every place. They pushed the button, and they said, now. They pushed the button, we filled 56 jets in under 5 minutes. And normal rate, filling a jet in Israel at that time was 45 minutes. They had to go get the gas, the fuel from a tank, drive it in the truck, bring it to the plane, and fill it up. And it took 45 minutes for one. We did 56 and under 5. And then when I got transferred to Hawaii, working in Hawaii on the nuclear subsidized docks in Pearl Harbor. And the Lebanon War started, and we got a letter from the commander and from the IDF saying that our system was supporting the whole Israeli Air Force during the Lebanon War. And the planes were flying from the north to the south to fill up and go back to the northern border. Why I tell you that story? Because I'm a good engineer? No. I tell you that story because that was 2002, 2003. Hashem looked back in 1961 and saw a little Catholic boy that wanted to be a priest. And said, you want to be an engineer. And Hashem knew that he wanted a little Italian Catholic boy in Brooklyn to go to engineering school, to go through all his jobs, to go through his whole career, and then figure out that he's got to convert. And then after he converts, and he becomes a Jew for a few years, I'm going to send him to Israel, and I'm going to get him to run this engineering job, because he's the one I want on that job. 40 years later, Hashem took a little light bulb thought and made it into an engineer on an Israeli Air Force base. That's Hashgacha Pratis. That's what Hashem does. He sees everything and He knows everything. And in a Yid's life, we have to start seeing these things every day. But that's what Hashem wanted. He didn't want me to be an engineer because I wanted to be an engineer. He didn't want me to be a priest because He needed